Hi everybody, good morning and welcome to the United Stand. This is your latest Manchester United news. Lots to talk about this morning. Jack Grealish talking about a transfer to Manchester United, which I'll just say from the start, isn't him coming to Manchester United now. It's talking about how close he was to coming to Manchester United. We'll have the story on that. Obviously, Grealish has been talking to the press in relation to his game. I think Villa are playing West Ham tonight. Villa are playing Man City tonight. But Man United play Arsenal tomorrow. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Also, some big news on Ralf Rangnick. I want to give you that. We'll also be. I want to talk about Ronaldo as well. I mean, look, Cristiano Ronaldo is arguably the best player in the world, certainly in the conversation. He's a Manchester United player, and look, I'll come into it in a minute. I think the critics, as the title say, of Ronaldo are shameless. I actually think there are people in the world that are just very bitter. They're full of hate. You know, they wake up in the morning, they have a pint of lemonade because they're bitter. Is the lemonade? Has it got lemon in lemonade? There's not much. It's not that bitter. But there's just no comprehension. There's just no theory that makes any sense in relation to this Ronaldo criticism that we are seeing. And as a Manchester United player and as a Manchester United legend, I think it's very important that United fans get behind Ronaldo and stop falling for what I would call is shambles. It's just an absolute shambles. And look, don't pretend that there aren't bad opinions out there. I mean, look, I'm not talking about on here. You are going to get bad opinions on here. It's just fan content. But the mainstream media, whether that's TV, radio, or news outlets, are horrific in relation to the agendas that they can start. And I feel that Ronaldo is being targeted and will be sitting those targeters down very, very quickly. But look, let's start off in relation to Ralf Rangnick. Told this morning there's going to be some big news about Ralf Rangnick. Now, I don't know what that big news is. I can't even drop a hint. But effectively, he's in a Manchester hotel. This is the latest on Rangnick, and there will be a big announcement today. I don't expect this big announcement to be that he's going to be on the bench tomorrow. I don't expect it to that. I expect it to be around the visa. I expect it to be announced. I mean, maybe there'll be an update in the press conference from Carrick. Remember, that's coming up at lunchtime. But a big announcement / development about Ralf Rangnick today is what we're expecting. So let's wait and see whether that comes to pass and what it is. But hopefully it will be that he's going to be in charge of the game on Sunday now, because obviously not tomorrow night against Arsenal. Hopefully in for the Palace game, and we can start to see some real developments. And I was thinking about this morning. I really do think that ideally we should have had him in for the Arsenal game. We can't do anything about that now, but realistically I think next week is a really big week. We beat Palace on Sunday. Hopefully we've got Young Boys on Wednesday night, where it's the perfect game for him to try different things, and ahead of a really good run of fixtures. So I think that rotation, reset, that we're reinvigoration in the team, revolution, 4 R's that we're looking for at United under Rangnick, 5 R's, is coming. Because I think against Young Boys next week, there is no point in playing first team players. So you may as well give a load of players that, you're thinking about your Donnies, maybe your Lingards, your Tellez, your Delo, your Bailly. It's a chance for them to all have a game and a decent game. So I'm interested to see what happens. And he'll have a full week of training as well, so we can really pump the team hard. Ronaldo got more attention for commenting on a post than Messi did for winning the Ballon d'Or, says Daniel Kirk. And Mark, are you doing the Bruno Christmas jumper this year? I've regretted not buying it for 12 months. Love the show, love the team. Glory, glory, United Stand. We are. If you go to the link in the video description, you'll find it on there. It is on the page because I was wearing it the other day. It's definitely still there. Our team play is making Ronaldo look bad, says Rudy. Look, I want to talk about a few things this morning, but I really want to get into Ronaldo first of all. I just find this, as I said, absolutely shameless. And I want to take a couple of minutes and want to get your thoughts on this. It's shameless. The criticism of Cristiano Ronaldo is nothing short of a farce. I was really thinking about it last night, and I thought I'm gonna talk about this on the show tomorrow morning, because there is no foundation for the criticism for Cristiano Ronaldo. Basically, absolutely none. There should be no criticism, but there can be no criticism because he's actually not doing anything wrong. If you look in the Champions League, this is the guy who's basically got us out of a group. Very lucky. We were lucky against Villarreal at home, and we were lucky against Atalanta twice. I think we deserved to beat Villarreal last week. They weren't very good, and they didn't take their chances, and in the last 20 minutes we were decent. But Ronaldo scored the first goal that got the game going. Ronaldo has got 6 goals in the Champions League this season, and we've only played 5 games. And he is in the top 5 goal scorers. I think he's joint 3rd this season in the Champions League. How he's managed to do that, living off scraps, I do not know. And look, I'm not going to pretend that his stats in the Premier League are that good, but I understand why. We've taken what? Under Ollie, it was 4 points from 21. Under Carrick, it's 5 points from 24. We're getting absolutely spanked. Teams are scoring 4 goals against us quite regularly. We're not going to have many chances for Ronaldo. So I think that this season, Cristiano Ronaldo has still managed, especially in the Champions League, to be prolific in a team that isn't. And yet you've got people in the media and certain fans trying to convince you. I mean, it's like saying to somebody, there's a Snickers bar, there's no nuts in it. And you open it up and you start eating it and go, I can taste the nuts. There's no nuts in it. I can taste the nuts. You can see the bit in the caramel. That's a nut. There are no nuts in that Snickers. And it's like, it's trying to convince the stupid. Like, I cannot see an angle on a Ronaldo debate. And yet, we've been pulled into a Ronaldo debate. I mean, it's almost as stupid as the comment on Sunday that Ranić had picked the team. We're falling into a world of theory. Now, when it's fan content, you expect a lot of it to be theory. This is a news show. We don't dictate the news, we respond to the news. So you give theory. But from the mainstream media, you expect a little bit better than just... I mean, I think they are almost chasing what fan content's done really well for 5 years. Just sensationalist bullshit. And I'll put my hands up and say, you know, I'm always honest. But sometimes after a few hours, you realise you've gone off the deep end there after that result. It's not a bad result. It's not as bad as you've moaned about. But the Ronaldo thing just really... I don't care about whether you're a United fan or not. The Ronaldo criticism is bordering on insane. It just doesn't have any... I can't find a strand of it that makes any sense. He is still, without doubt, the best finisher in the game, I think. Him and Lewandowski are the 2 best finishers in the game. They are so prolific. And I would take Ronaldo over Lewandowski. He is still ridiculously fit. He's still ridiculously fast. The stats in relation to Ronaldo this season, I think he's the 3rd quickest player in our team, but ridiculously fast. And I'm baffled. I've stayed quiet on it really for too long because I am baffled by the criticism. I do not get it. And you know where it started from? It's the same old story in this country. You bring somebody into this country as a superstar. Everybody loves it. Oh my God! Look at the shirt sales. Look at the social media interactions. It's amazing. It's amazing. And then people get bored of it and start going, "Let's criticise the hero." And Ronaldo. The thing about Ronaldo is he won't give a damn because he's proved his critics wrong so long. And that's what I'm saying to you as a United fan. Get behind Ronaldo. Remember who he is, and ignore the critics. Because look at the fixtures we've got coming over the next 10 Premier League games. I guarantee you Ronaldo's going to start scoring a lot of goals. We're going to become a defensive team that creates nothing to an offensive team that creates a lot. And when you're creating a lot of things and you want to be clinical, you want Cristiano Ronaldo on the edge of it. And I just think he is going to explode over the next month. He's going to score a lot of goals. He's going to sit a lot of people down. And suddenly these people who are criticising him are going to start praising him. And you know what they're going to do? They're going to say this. I'll predict this right now. It's because Ranić taught him to press properly. That's why he's reaping the benefits. Well, bullshit. It's nothing to do with that because Ronaldo has reaped the benefits of his genius for the last, what feels like, 20 years. I mean, it's not quite 20 years, but certainly last 15 years and a little bit more. He's reaped the benefits of his genius and he's going to continue to do it. And for some reason, this obsession with pressing has become something that now has become a mainstream topic of conversation around social media, in the press, ex-players, national TV, national radio. Ronaldo's a problem in that team. I actually saw somebody yesterday who apparently is associated to Manchester United in some sort of commentary role. I don't know whether they are or they're not. I can't be asked to look deep. They talk a lot of nonsense. And they were basically saying that Ronaldo is a problem. Ronaldo compared to the team last year is a problem. And I'm like, oh my God, football really is not for you, is it? Like, fortunately on this channel, as a community, we spend a lot of time watching a lot of games. And the great thing is that before Ronaldo came into the club, before Jadon Sancho came into the club, before Varane came into the club, we spent most of last season saying that that's a graveyard shift for Anthony Martial. That's a graveyard shift for Mason Greenwood. That's a graveyard shift for Edison Cavani. And the great thing is, we already knew that. So how can Cristiano Ronaldo impact on how the team plays when we played exactly the same last year? The problem with United this season, in a sentence, was nothing to do with Cristiano Ronaldo. in a paragraph, the problem was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got away with it last year. We played a back six. We ground out a lot of results. There was a lot of last-minute blocks. There was a lot of late winners. There was a lot of comeback winners. We won a lot of games by 1 goal last season. A hell of a lot. That's unsustainable. We were never the better team in those games, really. We might have the better half, but the opposition had the better half. They were fine margin games that Ole openly spoke about. Fine margins he spoke about a lot last season. The thing is, you can't do fine margins twice. And we didn't get away with it. And also, teams knew how we play. So what teams did is they exploited the way that we were playing and they battered us. And that's the difference this year. And also, some of our defenders have been way under form. So we've lost a lot of games this season because of problems that were not rectified by the coaching. It's got nothing to do with Ronaldo. If it wasn't for Ronaldo, we'd be in the Europa League playing Thursday night. Thankfully, we're only playing Thursday night tomorrow because it's a Premier League schedule. We would not be in the Champions League if it wasn't for Cristiano Ronaldo. So I think that the criticism is just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And you've got to be very careful about how you get moulded by the mainstream media. You know, what we do gets a lot of criticism. I've got no problem with that because it's opinion. Fan content is opinion. Mainstream media is starting to shove opinion down your throat. I mean, you think about Roy Keane and Carragher at the weekend. What a stupid argument that was. I mean, it was great viewing, but you want more from your mainstream media than that. And as I say, I found it very good to watch. It was funny, but you want more than that. It was a silly argument that belongs on after a match with somebody holding a fan cam thing. That's where that belongs. It was ridiculous, and we can't be driven by opinion from the mainstream media because it leads to irresponsible themes that we've seen around Cristiano Ronaldo. And I'll give you another one as well. I mean, I've seen this clipping in as well, and I'll give you the facts on this. This baffles me as well. So, chances created in 2021. Guess who's number one in the Premier League? Not for Manchester United. Guess who's number one for chances created in 2021? And we're in December now, so you've got to take part of this season because I'll tell you what, if you'd done sod all this season, you wouldn't be number one. So yes, it's the calendar year, but you've still got to do something in both last season and this season to be number one. Bruno Fernandes, 71 chances created in this calendar year. Second place with 58, 13 less chances, Mo Salah. Third place, 55, nearly 20 less, is Trent Alexander-Arnold. So Bruno Fernandes has created more chances than any other player in the Premier League in this calendar year. And yet, Bruno is overrated. Bruno should be kicked out of our team. Bruno is a load of shit. And this is from United fans. And this is what I mean. People don't look at anything when they've got an agenda. And the reality is, again, this is another Portuguese player that plays for Manchester United who is defying the fact that we have been a crap, negative, slow tempo side. Imagine how many goals Cristiano Ronaldo will score when he's getting 4 or 5 chances a game instead of 1 or 2. Imagine how many assists and created chances Bruno is going to create when he's playing in a team that plays high up the pitch and he gets a lot more of the ball. You're going to see a massive improvement at Manchester United around these key players that for some reason are getting dragged into Manchester United's poor start to the season. I find it ridiculous. We lost 4-2 to Leicester. It's Ronaldo's fault. How can it be Ronaldo's fault? Harry Maguire was crap. The midfield was crap. The defence was crap. We lost 4-1 to Watford. It's Ronaldo's fault. How is it Ronaldo's fault when we've conceded 4 goals? And actually David De Gea was man of the match. It's the defence and the midfield again. Liverpool smashed us. Oh, it's Ronaldo's fault. Oh, it's Ronaldo's fault. The midfield got overrun and so did the defence. Man City, it's Ronaldo's fault. It's Ronaldo's fault that Man City beat us, made no subs, dominated the ball. Like, think before you start criticising. And look, open your eyes up to what goes on. How mainstream media can start an agenda against Cristiano Ronaldo exposes their lack of football knowledge, because we've been losing games because defensively we're terrible and the midfield is terrible. How can an attacker stop the team conceding 4, 5? You know, you can't do it. The ball being dominated. An attacker in its very existence is there to score goals. If you don't create chances, what are they supposed to do? And as for the pressing thing about Ronaldo, it's just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And it's going to fall apart very, very quickly, because you know what? People think that pressing is running around on your own up front like an idiot. That's not pressing. Pressing is running together as a team it doesn't even involve that much energy. It's just about 10 minutes bursts of pace with as a team high up the pitch. Ronaldo will actually benefit from this. What Ronaldo doesn't want to do is run around chasing the ball for fucking 90 minutes, not getting anywhere near it. So people are going to sit down in relation to Ronaldo, but the criticism of him is absolutely ridiculous. Do you think we are better defensively without Maguire, says Addy? On current form, I think that we probably are, but I don't know. I'm hope it's a clean slate, isn't it? It's a clean slate in relation to that. But I just, I'm quite passionate about this because I really do believe that every player needs a clean slate. But I do sense in the fan base people are taking agendas into a reset. I've seen it with Bruno over the last few days. I think we've seen it with Ronaldo, probably more from the mainstream than our own fan base. Maguire's been mentioned there. Luke Shaw's had it. Wan-Bissaka's got it. Obviously, McTominay and Fred have got it. I don't want... Look, I am just a fan. I am not a voice for anybody. I don't want to be. I think it's ridiculous when people say, oh, he's a voice for United fans. No, I'm not. People don't have to watch. We have a great community. But as a community and as a fan base, I would love to see everybody just calm down and reset and treat it as the reset it needs to be with every player. I've got players that I don't think are good enough, but I'm not going to go mad if Rangnick picks McTominay and Fred or Maguire or anybody else that I don't think deserves to start under Ollie, because Ollie's not in charge anymore. Rangnick's in charge, and he might see things or potential that is going to be a different path anyway. But I guarantee you, a pound to a penny of shit, I guarantee you this. Those who don't like Ronaldo, those who don't like Bruno, those who don't like Luke Shaw, those who don't like Maguire, they will take it into a new regime. And that's bringing toxicity into a new regime that I don't think we need. So, but also scratch the surface of your agendas. The Bruno one is ridiculous. Like he's created more chances than any other player in the Premier League this calendar year. And yet people are saying he's shit. He's going through a bad vein of form, 100%. 100%. The last month is probably his worst month at United. But who else has not had their worst month at United? Harry Maguire even said it. As a team, we're going through the worst period of our career. So, Mark, we will be seeing you on Thursday. How will you cope? Do you admit Ramsdale is signing of the season? Says Zany. Well, he is for you. And Shady, thank you very much. I don't know what you're talking about, so I can't really read it out. But look, let's see what happens with that. Just before I forget, lots to talk about this morning, but just want to say it because it's in the title, Grealish transfer link. This is not Manchester United signing Grealish from Manchester City. This is Jack Grealish, who is going to be playing against Aston Villa tonight. Few games tonight, and Villa are playing Man City. I think it's tonight, or maybe it's tomorrow. I think it's tonight. So basically, he was talking about going back to Villa, and obviously there's talk that he might get booed, etc. But he spoke about how he nearly joined Manchester United, that we played them in a pre-season game and he was told not to play in a midweek cup game. I remember that. We played Aston Villa the week before the season started because our season started a little bit late and so did Villa's. So we had a pre-season game. But by then, we'd already bought Van der Beek. So, I don't know. It doesn't make me... it doesn't make any sense to me, that Grealish story, because I know we were looking at Grealish in the February just before COVID happened, but I don't think we were looking at Grealish after we bought Van der Beek, because Van der Beek was the cheaper option effectively. And can I just say as well, look, I did like Jack Grealish at Aston Villa, and there was a time I really did want him to come to Manchester United, but having seen Grealish at Manchester City, I'm not, you never can tell, but do you think Grealish would have been a good signing for Manchester United? Thinking about him over the last year, because that's when we would have got him, according to him, and that's when the interest was. Would Grealish at Man United last season have made us any better? I don't think he would. I really don't think he would, because I think that if you think about where Grealish plays, we've been using Rashford a lot there, and Rashford's in the team because of his pace, his explosive pace, and Grealish doesn't have that. And we're not a progressive team. Grealish is another player, a bit like Bruno, a bit like Donny, a bit like Sancho, who possession is key for them. And we've been crap with possession. Grealish under a Rangnick would be interesting. But remember, if we'd bought Grealish, it would have been under Ollie. So I don't know that Grealish would have worked at United last year. But, you know, it didn't happen. I'm disgusted with the media, says Kanishka. I also fear Rangnick might get the same treatment from media rather than some players. I hope he throws these media outside Old Trafford in the resets, says Kanishka. And it's about drive, it's about power. We stay hungry, we devour. Put in the work, put in the hours and take what's ours, says Tenzin. I think I've been victim to that before. But that is a great point by Kanishka. Absolutely brilliant. I sort of hinted on this the other day, and you might have missed it amongst what we were talking about the other day. Absolutely guarantee, whether it's social media, whether it's ex-players, whether it's media, and when I say mainstream media, I'm not targeting Sky or BT or TalkSport or certain news outlets. When I say mainstream media, I mean encompassing all of it. It can be radio, TV, news outlets. So, you know, I'm not targeting anybody individually, because one can, you know, damage it for others. You know, if a radio station starts talking crap, then you know, that can damage the TV stations and the news outlets. But absolutely brilliant, absolutely spot on. Guarantee you, Rangnick is going to get targeted. He will. He won't get the protection Ollie got. Whether that's ex-players, whether that's newspapers, whatever, he will not get the protection. They never do, and we must be very wary about that. If you felt that you were loyal to Ollie until it became impossible to be loyal to him, keep your eyes open to what's going to happen with Rangnick, because he will not get the same level of protection, and they will go on him. They will go in on him a lot sooner. I saw it with Mourinho. I vaguely remember a story, and I can't remember when it was. Jose Mourinho. It was in the Sun, and it wasn't the season he got binned off. It might have even been he'd only been there a couple of months. He's lost the dressing room. Van Gaal had it as well. They will go in on him very, very, very quickly, and we need to have our eyes open to that. People don't understand Ronaldo's role is to deliver that clinical finish, says Stefan. Something we lacked last season. Europa final, Ralph can organise structure, says Stefan. And let's protect him, says Milo. Well, look, it's a shame Gary Neville is no longer the most credible now. Whatever he says just feels useless, says Matty. No, I think that, no, look, let's be fair. You know, Gary Neville's a good pundit. His loyalty to Solskjaer was his loyalty to give. The comment at the weekend about Rangnick picking the team, this is where it goes wrong. When you're a co-commentator on a game that millions of people are watching, and you say, I think this is a team that's been picked by Rangnick, and it's just an opinion, that's very dangerous, because people will take it as fact. And I think that, you know, the mainstream media's got a responsibility to deal in the facts as much as possible. When you're on your bloody Twitter account, or you're asked for your opinion, that's absolutely fine. But that was very dangerous at the weekend, and it also didn't do him any credit, because it was a load of nonsense. So we're all capable of getting it right, and we're all capable of getting it wrong. I don't think, you know, you shouldn't listen to people if they come across with something good. I mean, the way I look at it is that I think sometimes Roy Keane talks nonsense, and sometimes he absolutely nails it on the head. You know, just have an open mind to what people are saying, and forge your own opinion. It's that old saying, isn't it? You know, never follow the Pied Piper, which I don't think actually is a saying, but nobody's right all the time. And I think some people just want to believe. You know, I've seen it over the years. And I'm not just talking about footballers here. They'll do something wrong in their private life, but because people love them so much as an actor or a footballer or whatever, and I'm just using examples here, they'll stick up for them. Oh no, because I love them as a footballer, I love them as an actor, they can't have done anything wrong. Do you know them? Have you been out for a drink with them? Have you socialised with them? They might be the biggest prick in the world. So the thing for me is that I just take things with the way if they say something I agree with, I'll quote it. If they say something I disagree with, I'll quote it. And that's the way it should be. They're not mates, are they? They're experts in their field, but it doesn't mean that they get everything right. And I think that's just the way to be, isn't it? Mark, everyone said Lindelof was the problem last year, but Maguire is the real problem. Sell him, says Tenzin. But you know what? It's a great opinion, Tenzin. But I also do not subscribe to the fact that Lindelof is good. I don't. I thought Lindelof played decent against Chelsea, as did Eric Bailly. But if you're asking me, do I want Victor Lindelof to play centre-back for Manchester United? No. I mean, look. What was that game last year against West Brom where he got, the defender bullied him so much he nearly headed the ball and Lindelof into the box. I mean, he almost went bang and threw Lindelof in the goal as well. It was bullying. He gets bullied physically. He's also not particularly quick. So I think Lindelof is a decent centre-back. I don't think he's a good centre-back. And I certainly don't want him to play centre-back for Manchester United. I mean, look, the one good centre-back that we've got at the moment is Villarreal. Is Varane. I'm hoping Maguire's going to find his form again, because that's the centre-back pairing we're meant to have. But if that doesn't happen, there's going to be opportunities there. But what I would say is, and again, I'm not saying Lindelof's shit. I'm just saying I don't think he's as good as some people make out. I think he's got glaring weaknesses. It might be that Lindelof and Varane are our best centre-back pairing that we can put out at the moment, which is a very different thing to saying, do I believe we can win a title with Lindelof and Varane? No, I don't. I think we need better than Lindelof, but it might be that Varane and Lindelof are our best centre-back pairing. It might be that Varane and Bailly are our best centre-back pairing. To be honest with you, I'd rather play Varane and Bailly than Varane and Lindelof, because I know that Eric Bailly's strong in the air and physical, and also he's got the speed. Lindelof's better on the ball, but, that speed and strength is important. There is this myth Rangnick won't play Ronaldo. Rangnick played a 35-year-old Raul at Schalke, and they went to the semi-finals. Kushina. You know what, Kushina, you're absolutely spot on. I could not be bothered to spend even a minute telling you why Rangnick will pick Ronaldo, because he will pick Ronaldo. I don't know why Michael Carrick dropped him at the weekend. I thought that was more Solskjaer than Rangnick. I'm sure there'll be games that Ronaldo doesn't start under Rangnick, where we're playing a lot of games and it might be give Cavani a start, certainly over the Christmas period. But Carrick and I've had time to think about this, and God, I've got time to prepare for Carrick's press conference. Can I just make it really clear? Michael Carrick has always been one of my favourite footballers Man United have had in the last 20 years. I loved him. I loved the CDM role, and I think the way he played it was brilliant. He never went to ground. His positional sense was brilliant. His passing off both feet were brilliant. But I never really cared for him for his interviews as a footballer, because they were boring. And I find his press conference a little bit boring as well. So we've got to prepare for that at lunchtime. But having had time to think about with the Ronaldo dropping, and I know Roy Keane didn't agree with it, Paul Scholes didn't agree with it, I'm sure Sir Alex Ferguson didn't agree with it after his comments when Ollie did it against Everton. But I think there's two big hints as to why that happened. Nothing to do with Rangnick. I think it was because we were going to play very defensive, and he knew that Ronaldo would be basically chasing shadows. So I think that was one reason. And the second reason was, I think that he saw it as an opportunity to showcase his talents. This is an opportunity for Michael Carrick. He's said numerous times how much he's enjoying it. Fair play to him, he said, I shouldn't have got the opportunity. I feel a bit guilty about it, because Solskjaer, I worked with him and he got the sack. But since he's been given it, he's enjoyed it. And I think he's used it as an opportunity to showcase his talents, because he needs to keep a job. Michael Carrick's only 40. Gets sacked by Manchester United. He's got 20, 30 years of a career as a coach in front of him. Where's he going to end up? So he's got to grab this opportunity, and I think he's trying to showcase himself. Look at me, I'm caretaker manager and I've dropped Ronaldo. So I think he did it, one, because Ronaldo wasn't going to get a lot of the ball against Chelsea, and two, to say, look what I've done, I've dropped Ronaldo. Ollie did it against Everton, it was a bad idea. Man United aren't going to win the title, but do you think Ralph will lead Manchester United to the FA Cup, says Jaden? I think if we draw Chelsea in the third round, City in the fourth round, and Liverpool in the fifth round, we won't win the FA Cup. We need, if we get a good fair draw in the FA Cup, and I say fair, I mean a good run, then we need a Man City type of FA Cup run where you're pulling out Wigan in the third round, and Huddersfield in the fourth round, and Swindon in the fifth round, and then the sixth round you get someone like Burnley, and then the semi-final is when you get your first real tough game. That if that happens, we can win the FA Cup. But if we pull out hard teams, it will be very difficult. How do you manage to switch off from social media, says Mr. Bowen? How do I switch off from social media? Well, it's very difficult, because I'm always keeping an eye on what's going on, and social media, especially things like Twitter, are brilliant for quick news. So I'm always keeping my eye on the timeline. I don't really dwell much on replies. That's how I switch off from social media. I think that's where you can get dragged into toxic things. And look, what I would say about negativity, negative opinions or toxic opinions or dividing the fan base, Divided opinions is just people who disagree with your opinion. Don't not have an opinion. Like, at the end of the day, that's... if somebody disagrees with my opinion on social media, well done. Print a t-shirt. I'm not bothered. I'm not changing my opinion. You know, and that's the way it should be. You know. Ranyik Bridge, says Owen. And ignoring replies is a good shout, says Hydra. I mean, I don't ignore all replies. There's people that reply to me that, you know, I want to interact with. But, you know, the world is full of fools. And, you know, some people just want to see it burn. And some people just cannot accept that their opinion is wrong. So if you say, you know, McTominay and Fred aren't good enough for Man United, that's an agenda. That's just hate. But then you go and look at their timeline, and they've had a pop at a different player like Wan-Bissaka, and you think, yeah, you're just an idiot. What team do you think Haaland will join, says Shaw? I don't know. I mean, I find the Erling Haaland thing tiring for many reasons. You know, people are talking about the Rangnick connection to Haaland. I don't think we'll ever have a bigger connection to Haaland, really, than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer brought him through at Molde and is Norwegian and is his mate. So there are connections with Rangnick and Haaland, of course, but there were bigger connections with Solskjaer and Haaland, and it still didn't happen. But, you know, Pogba and Haaland are very similar. They've both got the same agent, and Mino Raiola is focused on money. And all I'll keep saying about Erling Haaland is what a great striker he would be to have for many clubs. But at his age, he's only going to be at your club, whether it's Man City, Man United, Liverpool, Chelsea, Juventus, Real Madrid, Barcelona, PSG. He's only going to be at your club for 3 years, and then he's going to go to the next big club for 3 years, and then another big club for 3 years, because that's the plan. Zlatan is the model. Mino Raiola was the agent of Zlatan. The Haaland model is Zlatan 2.0. They are going to sell him every 2 or 3 years to a different league and make a lot more money, and he's just going to go around like that. And that's the Mino Raiola model. He wanted to do it with Pogba. I don't know why it didn't happen with Pogba. He was meant to come to United for 3 years and then go to Real Madrid, and for some reason it just never happened. COVID obviously played a big part in it. So whether you want Haaland or not, he won't be here for more than 2 or 3 years, and within that 2 or 3 years it will get toxic because Mino Raiola will open his gob up. And the thing is, somebody would say, well, if you brought Haaland in now for 3 years, we'll be a better team for it. Which we will be. He's a brilliant player. But it's not like he leaves in 3 years and that's it. You know, the rumours of him leaving will start after the first year. Every year with Pogba, we've had he's leaving, he's not leaving. You know, the toxicity is there. And that is a toxicity in football, because it's unsettling that you've got a player and then you've got an agent who's constantly talking to the press about them leaving. Keep up the good work, Mark. Awesome content. Just a suggestion, don't get positive too early. Be neutral. Helps in digesting if we fail, says Harish. And also, hi Mark, score prediction for Arsenal game, says Mikael Roach. I'm going to go 2-1 United. What are the odds? Carrick mentions Ollie again today, says Paul. I would give you, well, let's have a little bet. No money involved. Who's with me? I reckon he'll mention Ollie at least once in the press conference. Yeah, I'd be stunned if he doesn't. But yeah, I expect it to. No, I've enjoyed talking about Ronaldo this morning because I think he's almost become forgotten, and he's such a massive player in football, and such a massive player for us, that I think we need to be, we need to focus on it. Wow, apparently National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation came out 32 years ago today. I love it. I love it. I love to watch it as well. Good Christmas film, that. Happy Advent Calendar Day, by the way. If you've opened yours yet. I haven't opened mine yet because it's got alcohol in it. I've got a gin one. So, yeah, that's what I've got. Anyway, we are back at lunchtime. 1:30 is the Michael Carrick interview. As I said, watch out. I think there will be a big announcement on Ralph Rangnick today if what I got told this morning was true. And we will see. Mr. Wavy says, Carrick's a boring, terrible coach. I want him out of the club. I ain't got a problem with Michael Carrick. I think he's very lucky. I haven't got a problem with Michael Carrick. I loved him as a player. Very similar to Solskjaer again, isn't it? But I do find him very dull as a coach. I don't think he's got much of a personality. Can we do Carrick bingo, says Daniel Kirk. Yeah, how many times is he going to mention Ollie? I'm going to say he'll only mention Ollie once. I'm going to write mine down as 1. But to be honest, it could be 2 or 3. Thanks everyone for watching. I will speak to you at about 1:45, 2:45, 1:30 press conference. So we'll be live straight after that. And yeah, hope you have a good day. Speak to you all in a bit. Viva Ronaldo.